Hi, I'm Marlo from Wild Food UK, out foraging again. It's the 27th of February and it's a beautiful day, an unseasonably warm day. This is our little fake spring that we're having, and apparently there's a bit of a cold snap coming in next week. But there's been a lot of warm weather, and what that's done is it's matured a lot of plants much earlier than normal. So wild garlics and things like that have been up a little bit earlier, and I'm finding them in flower already, which is early. And around me here there's loads of plants already looking quite tasty and succulent. We've got some nettles, and there's some chervils, and there's some celandines around, but none of them are as succulent and tasty as what's growing up the wall here. This truly is a gourmet plant. This graces the finest restaurant tables in the country and around the world. It's got a couple of common names. The first one is pretty self-explanatory. I'll just pick this quite carefully. I'll tell you why in a minute. Its first name is Navelwort. If you look, it's got a navel in the middle, a little belly button. And its scientific name is Umbilicus rupestris, and umbilicus referring to the umbilical cord. Its other common name is, and probably more commonly used common name, is Pennywort or wall Pennywort, and that's because when the plant first comes out, it's reasonably round. Looks a little bit like a penny, I suppose. Now, growing out of walls like this is where you normally find it. So we find it in rocky places quite often. When we go down to Dartmoor, we'll find it all over the place. It will grow out of old established stone walls and rocky outcrops, and it can be found at the bases of trees, but normally, like I say, probably 90% of the time, this is where you find it. Now, lookalikes wise, there aren't many. Nasturtiums, reasonably similar, and growing in the same environment out of walls beside it, there's none here. We've got a plant called Leave Toadflax, which is quite similar as well, I suppose, if you don't look too closely. But this plant's a bit different in one special way. It's very succulent. So if I show you the leaf cut in half, you can see it's juicy and thick. None of the other leaves I mentioned are anything like as juicy and thick, and it really is a succulent, juicy plant to eat. I'll have a little nibble before I forage any, because there is one thing to know about this plant. It tastes different on different days and at different times of the year, and I think depending on what sort of stone it grows out of, or just what the conditions have been like. That tasted lovely and sweet to me, so this is perfect to go in a salad. But at certain times it does take on a bit of bitterness, and certainly in late summer, especially after it's flowered, it's a bit too bitter for me to put in my salads. But at this stage, how it is just now, or how it tastes just now, it really is a lovely addition to a salad, giving you texture, as well as a sort of lettucey type flavour with something slightly different and unique on the side. It's a really tasty plant. People do make drinks out of it, and there are health benefits from eating the plant. There's quite a lot online if you want to look into the herb lore of Pennywort or wall Pennywort. From a medicinal point of view, there is one thing that I know it's good for. If you get the leaves, you kind of peel off the skin on the back, what you've got is something that is a very nice soothing and cooling balm for any sort of skin rash or burn or irritation, and it's lovely and cooling on a burny hot day like we've got in February today. Not much more to say about the plant. Like I say, you can't mistake it for many other things. The only other thing that I would say is that because it grows out of walls and rocky environments, it's shallow rooted. So when you're picking this plant, take care, go in and pinch a few stems out. Don't start trying to pull clumps out, because you'll pull the whole plant out, roots and all, and we don't want you to do that. Oh, another thing to mention, and we've got some of last year's are the flowers here. Now you can see those flower stems are last year's, so they're all dried out, but if they were fresh, what you'd see is a sort of long conical flower spike. This is something different up here, so we've got, yeah, there's probably the most good condition one that we have. Now that's a flower stem which can grow possibly up to a foot long. I think I've seen them in the past, with these tubular flowers that grow around the stem in a kind of conical shape. They don't really, from a distance, look like flowers though. They look more like just parts of the plant. Anyway, wall pennywort, Umbilicus rupestris, a really delicious salad leaf, which is best in spring. So go out and find some for yourself and enjoy it. If you want to find out more, go to www.wildfooduk.com.